The words coming out of Suki's mouth hit like a freight train, and the Sister Wives fandom will never be the same. The official tell-all host, the woman who sits with this family behind closed doors, who sees what we never see, just dropped a prediction that has sent shockwaves through every corner of the internet. She believes Kody and Robyn Brown will take a new wife. Let that sink in for a moment. This is not some wild fan theory cooked up in a Reddit thread at 2 in the morning. This is not speculation from someone who watches the show casually and connects dots that are not there. This is coming from someone who has sat face to face with every member of this family, who has asked the hard questions, who knows the dynamics beyond what makes it to our television screens. And folks, the timing of this revelation could not be more explosive. Remember that photograph that went viral last summer? The one showing Kody and Robyn at an Arizona beer festival with a mysterious blonde woman nobody could identify? The one where that unknown woman had her hand placed directly on Robyn's stomach, sparking pregnancy rumors that swept across social media like wildfire? Well, what if we have been looking at that photo all wrong? What if that moment captured something entirely different than what we assumed? What if we were witnessing the early stages of courtship for a potential new sister wife? Suki sat down with Sarah Fraser for a 2-part exclusive interview that peeled back layers of this family we never knew existed. She spilled tea that production would probably prefer stayed locked in a vault somewhere. She confirmed bombshells about season 21 that prove this show is far from over. She revealed secrets about NDAs, about something called the Sister Wives Club, and about the children finally stepping into the spotlight to tell their truth. The amount of information that came pouring out of this interview is staggering, and trust me when I say we are going to unpack every single juicy detail, but here is what makes Suki's new wife prediction particularly fascinating. She did not just throw it out there for shock value. She explained her reasoning, broke down the psychology, and connected threads that suddenly make this scenario seem not just possible, but almost inevitable. Robyn Brown entered this family wanting the polygamous lifestyle. She chose it, she believed in it, and now she finds herself living a monogamous existence that directly conflicts with everything she claimed to value spiritually. That internal conflict, according to Suki, is the key to understanding what might come next. For those unfamiliar with Suki's position in the Sister Wives universe, allow me to explain exactly why her words carry so much weight. This is not some random podcaster commenting from the sidelines. This is the official tell-all host, hand-selected by TLC to moderate what are essentially the most consequential conversations this family has on camera. She has been in the room when accusations fly. She has watched body language that viewers never catch. She has seen the interactions that happen during commercial breaks, the whispered conversations, the tears that flow when cameras are supposedly not rolling. When Suki sat down with Sarah Fraser for this explosive 2-part interview, she brought receipts. She brought insider knowledge. She brought the kind of behind-the-scenes perspective that transforms everything we think we know about this family. And she came ready to talk in ways that clearly pushed against whatever agreements she has with production. There were moments in this interview where you could tell she was walking a fine line, choosing her words carefully while still managing to reveal information that has the fandom absolutely losing their minds. First and foremost, let us address the elephant in the room that has had fans worried for months. Sister Wives is not canceled. Season 21 is coming, and according to Suki, it is going to deliver changes that fundamentally shift what this show looks like. The format is evolving, the focus is expanding, and the revelations that are coming will expose dynamics that have been simmering beneath the surface for years. One insider connected to production described the upcoming season as the most raw and honest content this family has ever delivered. Another source suggested that what viewers will learn about the mysterious NDA situation alone will be worth the wait. But the really fascinating detail Suki dropped concerns the children. The adult kids are stepping up in major ways. Production has recognized that these young adults who grew up in front of cameras living a lifestyle most Americans find incomprehensible have stories to tell that might actually be more compelling than their parents' ongoing drama. How did growing up in polygamy shape their views on relationships, on marriage, on family? How has it affected them as they become parents and spouses themselves? These are questions season 21 apparently intends to explore in depth. Suki also teased something called the Sister Wives Club, and while she could not reveal exactly what that means, the way she discussed it suggested there are alliances and secrets among the women that go far deeper than their relationships with Kody ever did. The commitment between these women, she hinted, has layers viewers have never fully understood. Now let us dive into exactly why Suki believes Robyn will not only accept but potentially champion bringing a new wife into her marriage. The psychology here is absolutely fascinating, and once you understand it, the prediction starts to make complete complete sense. Robyn Brown did not stumble into polygamy. She actively chose it, she pursued it. She married into this family with full knowledge of what the lifestyle entailed, and by all accounts, she believed deeply in the spiritual foundations that made plural marriage meaningful to her faith. Think about that for a moment. Robyn watched Kody's other marriages dissolve one by one. She witnessed Christine walk away, Janelle pull back, Mary exist in a state of limbo for years before finally finding the door. And through all of that, Robyn remained. She stayed loyal. She defended Kody publicly even when it made her the villain in fans' eyes. But here's the thing that Suki pointed out that changes everything. Robyn did not sign up for monogamy. She signed up for sisterhood. She signed up for the spiritual covenant of plural marriage, and now she finds herself in a situation that directly contradicts the vows she made to God. According to Suki, this spiritual conflict weighs heavily on Robyn in ways viewers do not fully appreciate. The family is far more religious than what makes it to our television screens. Their faith is not performative or casual, it is the foundation upon which their entire worldview rests. And for someone like Robyn, living a monogamous lifestyle when she specifically chose polygamy creates a dissonance that cannot be easily resolved. One source close to the situation described Robyn as being in genuine spiritual turmoil over this contradiction. Another insider suggested that Robyn has expressed privately that something feels incomplete about her current family structure. Suki was clear about one thing. Robyn deeply loves Kody. Whatever criticism fans want to throw at their relationship, whatever theories swirl about manipulation or favoritism, the love between them appears genuine. But love alone does not resolve spiritual conviction. And if Robyn truly believes that plural marriage is God's design for families, then living monogamously represents a fundamental betrayal of her own faith. The question becomes not whether Robyn would accept a new wife, but whether she might actually be the one driving that decision forward. Now we need to talk about that photograph, because the more you examine it in light of Suki's revelations, the more suspicious it becomes. Last summer, images surfaced showing Kody and Robyn at an Arizona beer festival. Nothing unusual there necessarily. Celebrities get spotted at events all the time. But what sent the internet into absolute overdrive was the third person in those photos, a blonde woman nobody could identify, a woman standing close enough to the couple to suggest genuine familiarity, a woman who had her hand placed directly on Robyn's stomach in what appeared to be a gesture of intimacy. Fans immediately jumped to pregnancy rumors. Social media exploded with speculation that Robyn might be expecting another child. Threads were created analyzing every pixel of those images, debating whether there was a visible bump, arguing about whether Robyn's age made another pregnancy likely or even possible. But what if every single one of us was looking at that moment completely wrong? What if that hand on the stomach was not about pregnancy at all? What if it was something far more significant to the future of this family? Allow me to translate what Suki seemed to be suggesting without directly stating. In their faith community, physical touch and closeness during courtship have specific meanings. A hand on a pregnant belly suggests anticipation for new life, but a hand on a stomach that is not pregnant could suggest something else entirely, a connection, a bond forming, an intimacy that has nothing to do with babies and everything to do with sisterhood. The speculation that this mystery blonde could be a potential new sister wife being courted suddenly does not seem so outlandish. Who is this woman? That question has been haunting fans since those photos emerged, and nobody has been able to definitively identify her. She is not a known family member. She does not appear to be a casual acquaintance based on the body language captured in those images. Sources who analyzed the photographs noted that all three individuals appeared completely comfortable together, suggesting multiple previous interactions. One observer described it as the kind of ease you see between people who have spent significant time together, and that observation becomes far more loaded in light of what Suki revealed. Sarah Fraser went somewhere in this interview that absolutely nobody expected, and Suki's reaction told us everything we need to know. Fraser asked point-blank whether Robyn could be bisexual. The silence that followed was deafening. Suki admitted she has never gone there with that line of questioning, never pushed into that territory during her conversations with the family. But the fact that she did not dismiss it outright, the fact that she seemed genuinely caught off guard rather than immediately shooting it down, speaks volumes. Let us think about this theory for a moment, because there is actually more support for it than you might initially assume. Robyn has consistently expressed an intense desire for sisterhood, for deep female companionship, for the bonds between women that she believed plural marriage would provide. Her devastation over losing her sister wives was not performative grief over Kody's other marriages ending. It was genuine anguish over losing relationships with women she considered her closest family. She has spoken repeatedly about missing what she had with Christine, with Janelle, with Mary in the early days. That longing for female connection goes beyond what most monogamous wives would express about their husband's exes. One source who knows the family suggested that Robyn's relationships with the other wives were always more emotionally complex than what appeared on screen. Another insider described her reaction to Christine leaving as being more about losing Christine herself than about losing a sister wife in the abstract sense. When you start connecting these dots, Sarah Fraser's question becomes less shocking and more intriguing. What if Robyn's desire for plural marriage has as much to do with her need for intimate female companionship as it does with religious conviction? Suki revealed another fascinating detail that adds context to all of this. She has been invited into both camps, so to speak. She has been to Kody and Robyn's new McMansion, accepted their hospitality, seen how they live, and she has also joined Christine on her Moab adventures, experienced time with the other side of this divided family. That access gives her perspective that literally nobody else in media has, and when someone with that perspective refuses to dismiss questions about Robyn's sexuality while simultaneously predicting a new wife is coming, perhaps we should be paying very close attention. Suki dropped confirmation that has the fandom buzzing with anticipation. Season 21 is not just happening, it is happening bigger than anyone expected. The tell-all format is expanding from 3 parts to 4 parts. Let that sink in for a moment. There is so much drama, so much revelation, so many bombshells waiting to drop that production decided 3 episodes simply would not be enough to contain it all. We are getting an extra hour of content because what this family has to say requires additional time. And what exactly will those 4 parts reveal? According to Suki, viewers will finally learn what the mysterious NDA situation is all about. For those who have not been following closely, references to a non-disclosure agreement have been floating around the Sister Wives universe for some time now. Someone signed something, someone is legally prevented from discussing certain topics, and whatever that NDA covers, it has been a source of tension and speculation that production has deliberately left unexplained. Until now, apparently, the Sister Wives Club's secrets will also be exposed in Season 21. Suki mentioned this phrase multiple times during her interview, each time with a knowing look that suggested there are dynamics between these women that viewers have never fully understood. What exactly is the Sister Wives Club? What secrets have they been keeping? What alliances formed and what betrayals occurred that cameras missed? The answers are coming, and based on Suki's teases, they are going to fundamentally change how we view the relationships in this family. But perhaps the most surprising reveal concerns David Woolley, Christine's new husband. According to Suki, David will share his strong views on why polygamy is abusive to women. This is not subtle commentary or gentle criticism. This is a man who married into the orbit of America's most famous polygamist family, apparently ready to condemn the entire lifestyle his wife spent decades living. The tension that creates, the conversations that will spark, the reactions from Kody and Robyn when they hear Christine's new husband calling their belief system abusive, all of it is coming in Season 21. Here is something Suki revealed that genuinely shocked even longtime viewers who thought nothing about this family could surprise them anymore. Janelle wants official church blessing to be spiritually free from Kody. Let me repeat that because it requires a moment to fully absorb. Janelle Brown, who has not been active in the church for roughly a decade, who seemed the most secular and practically minded of all the wives, is seeking a formal religious release from her spiritual marriage to Kody. Suki admitted this revelation caught her completely off guard. She had assumed, like most viewers, that Janelle's departure from Kody was handled more like a traditional divorce, a practical separation without the religious complications that other wives might face. But Janelle's request reveals that the spiritual bonds in this family run far deeper than what we see on television. Even for someone who stepped away from active participation in their faith community years ago, the marriage covenant apparently still holds weight that requires formal release. This tells us something profound about how this family actually operates versus how they present themselves on screen. The show has often portrayed these relationships through a somewhat secular lens, discussing jealousy and scheduling and practical household matters. But underneath all of that, there is a religious foundation that has never been fully excavated for viewers. These are not just marriages in the legal or emotional sense. They are spiritual covenants that the participants believe have eternal implications, and undoing those covenants requires more than signing papers at a courthouse. One source close to Janelle described her decision as both surprising and inevitable. Surprising because nobody expected her to engage with the church after so many years away. Inevitable because she cannot fully move forward without addressing the spiritual chains that still bind her to a man she no longer considers her husband. Another insider suggested that Janelle's request has created ripples throughout the family, raising questions about what it truly means to leave these marriages behind. The commitment between these women and to their shared faith goes deeper than their individual relationships with Kody. The pivot toward focusing on the adult children might be the smartest decision production has ever ever made regarding this show, and Suki confirmed it is happening in a major way. Think about the wealth of stories these young adults have to share. They grew up on camera living a lifestyle that most Americans cannot comprehend. They navigated childhood with 4 mothers, countless siblings, and a father whose attention was perpetually divided. They watched their family become famous and infamous in equal measure, and now they are adults, many of them forming their own families, making their own choices about relationships and faith. Suki confirmed that production wants to explore how growing up in polygamy shaped these kids as they become adults, parents, and spouses themselves. This is goldmine territory for content that could sustain sister wives for years, potentially decades into the future. Madison, Mykelti, Aspen, and others are now raising their own children. How do their childhood experiences influence their parenting? Did growing up with multiple mothers make them better equipped for motherhood, or did it create challenges they are still working through? These questions have natural dramatic tension built right in. And then there is the elephant in the room that gives this storyline even more weight. Many of these adult children have distanced themselves from Kody. The rift between the patriarch and his offspring has been one of the most discussed aspects of recent seasons. Some kids maintain relationships with their father, others have essentially cut him off entirely. Season 21 apparently intends to give these young adults platforms to finally speak their truth on camera about what happened, about why they made the choices they made, about how they view their father now. One source suggested that some of the kids are ready to say things that will fundamentally change how viewers perceive Kody. Another insider described potential confrontations that production is hoping to capture. If even half of what Suki teased comes to fruition, the upcoming season could feature some of the most emotionally charged footage in the show's history. Let us talk about what happens behind the scenes at those tell-all tapings, because Suki spilled tea that paints a picture of Kody Brown you absolutely need to hear. According to the host, who sits across from him during those intense question and answer sessions, Kody requires special water, not regular water. Special water specifically selected and provided for his consumption. He needs constant mirror checks throughout filming. His hair requires touch-ups that apparently nobody else in the room needs. The man is, according to Suki's descriptions, a complete diva about his appearance. But wait, it gets better. Kody reportedly brings 25 different suits to tell-all tapings. 25. He fusses endlessly about which one presents the right image, which color works best, which cut makes him look most authoritative or sympathetic, or whatever mood he is trying to project that particular day. Meanwhile, all the women involved in these productions, including Suki herself, simply sit down ready to film. They arrive prepared to do the work, while Kody apparently treats the experience like a personal fashion show. The irony here is absolutely staggering when you consider how Kody has presented himself over the years. This is a man who has lectured about modesty and humility. This is someone who comes from a faith tradition that supposedly values substance over surface, and yet behind closed doors he is demanding special water and requiring 25 wardrobe options to feel comfortable filming a television appearance. Allow me to translate what this reveals about his character. The man cares more about looking like a patriarch than actually being one. Suki also revealed that she visited Kody and Robyn's new McMansion and asked for a tour. Kody said yes. She got to see how they are living now in this massive home that has become a symbol of the wealth discrepancy within the family, while Janelle lived in an RV, while other family members faced financial struggles. Kody and Robyn apparently have no problem showing off their palatial Arizona residence to anyone who asks nicely enough. Everything Suki revealed in this explosive interview points toward a future for sister wives that nobody saw coming. New wife rumors are swirling with credibility now because the source is not a tabloid looking for clicks, but the official tell-all host with genuine insider access. Season 21 promises revelations about NDAs and sister wives club secrets that will reshape how we understand this family. The children are stepping into larger roles that could sustain this franchise for years to come. And underneath it all, there are religious and emotional dynamics that viewers have never fully grasped. If Kody and Robyn actually take a new wife, this show could genuinely run for 50 seasons like Survivor. That is not exaggeration. Think about the narrative potential. A new courtship, a new marriage, new jealousies and adjustments, new children potentially. The entire cycle that made early Sister Wives compelling would reset with fresh characters and fresh dynamics. Production would be foolish not to pursue that storyline if it presents itself organically. The mystery blonde from that Arizona Beer Festival photograph haunts every theory about about this family's future. Her identity remains unknown. Her relationship to Kody and Robyn remains unexplained. The intimacy captured in that image remains open to interpretation. But Suki's prediction that a new wife is coming gives that photograph new significance. What if we were witnessing something historic in those candid shots? What if that moment captured the beginning of the next chapter in Sister Wives history? Robyn's spiritual conflict creates the perfect conditions for exactly the outcome Suki predicts. A woman who chose polygamy, who built her identity around plural marriage, who made covenants to God based on that lifestyle, cannot simply become monogamous without consequence. The internal struggle Suki described is real, and it needs resolution one way or another. Either Robyn makes peace with living contrary to her stated beliefs, or she finds a way to return to the lifestyle she originally chose. So here is the question that will determine everything going forward. Do you think Robyn would actually champion bringing in a new sister wife? Or is Kody done with polygamy forever? The evidence Suki presented suggests Robyn has both the motivation and the influence to make it happen. But Kody has seemed exhausted by plural marriage, defeated by the work it requires, unwilling to put himself through the complications again. Which force wins? That answer will determine not just the future of this family, but the future of the show. Millions of us cannot stop watching.